What's up guys, Rob Sambles here, new video, and today we're talking about connectivity. So by that I mean, when I'm in a stadium I need to be able to have my laptop connected to Wi-Fi or to some kind of internet connection, and Wi-Fi isn't always available, so I always go armed with like 5 different things I can do. I'm going to talk through some of the detail of it. Let's get into it. So guys, I'm sorry that it's been a little bit longer this time since the last video. I've had loads going on, been really busy, loads of different sports events and stuff I've been doing. If you guys follow me on my Instagram or my Twitter, you will know that already because I've put some stuff on there. I'm always putting on there where I am and some behind the scenes stuff and things like that. If you didn't know I've been busy and you don't know what I've been up to, you're obviously not following my Instagram and my Twitter. You should be. Guys, go check those out. I'm going to put that right across the middle of the screen right now. The top one is my Instagram and Twitter account, and the bottom one is another Instagram account with loads of sport stuff on there. Go check those out guys. Like I said, loads of behind the scenes stuff, loads of like images of where I am, some images that I've shot at the different events I'm at too, loads of cool stuff on there. Keep most up to date, go and check those out. So today we're going to be talking about the different connections I use. Now every time I go to a stadium I try to research a little bit, or sometimes it's somewhere I've been before, or I'll know someone who's been, so I'm generally kind of at least vaguely familiar with what kind of connection options I will have when I get there. But nonetheless, I always still go armed with all of my various options just in case. Because having some kind of internet connection at a big sports event is one of the most important things. If I go there and I take some amazing photos, that's great, I'll be really pleased, but it's no good if I can't send them off fairly quick, or at least if I can't get them out live during the event. So that connection is so vitally important. So I'm going to talk through the different options of the things that I have. I'll talk through some of the pros and cons of the different ones so you guys can see what you think of them. Some of them are better than others. I certainly have my preferred ones, but all of them have their use one way or another. Just in the last probably 3 months I've used every single one of these options that I'm going to show you today. So guys, no messing around, let's just go straight into it. I suppose the first and most easy option, I don't need to show you anything because the answer is you can just connect to the stadium or to the venue's Wi-Fi. Now in some places that works really well. When I do my basketball events, for example, which is based in Surrey Sports Park in Guildford, you guys who know that, they have really good Wi-Fi in the venue there, so it works fine. I just connect to the Wi-Fi, I use that through the course of the event and I'm laughing. I don't have any problems with it, it's easy to do. However, the problem with Wi-Fi is that sometimes it isn't that quick, and in some of the bigger venues like the football stadiums for example, the Wi-Fi just drops off completely just because of the volume of people that are trying to use it. It clogs up that bandwidth and it runs really slowly, or in a lot of cases it just doesn't run at all. You'll be connected to it but you don't get any real connection. You'll sit there with images, you know, trying to upload them, and it will be 1% and then 10 minutes later it's 3%, and that's a total waste of time. So Wi-Fi is great if it's there and it's good, but if there's a lot of people trying to use it, it very quickly drops to the bottom of the list of options that I personally would try and use. So option number 2 is my dongle. Now very simple, you guys are probably fairly familiar with this, or if you're not, just look up you know, dongle on sort of Amazon, something like that, and you'll see loads of products like this come up. This is a pay-as-you-go dongle. It's connected with an EE network, so I plug this into my laptop and it gives me a 3G or 4G connection that I can just run with and use it to connect images. Now I use this quite a lot. This works really well in some of the more kind of remote venues that I use when you don't get any kind of Wi-Fi or any other kind of connection. So it's really good. I use this at a lot of like championship football grounds for example. It works really well. The one potential drawback with this is it still relies on an EE mobile phone network, I suppose. So sometimes it's a bit slower, sometimes the signal isn't as good as other times, but a lot of the time I find this to be fairly reliable and it runs really quick. So mobile 3G, 4G takes me on to my next option, which is literally just that. It is my mobile phone. Now I deliberately bought a dongle on a different network to my mobile phone. So my phone is on Vodafone and this dongle is on EE. Now I have the ability, as do most modern mobile phones now, to set up a hotspot from your phone. So I can connect my laptop via hotspot to my phone, and then I can run my laptop off the Vodafone 3G or 4G network. Now what that does, it gives me 2 different options. I've got an EE signal and a Vodafone signal. Depending on which one is strongest in the event that I'm working at, that gives me two different options and the best one to try. Because sometimes, I suppose really just the same way as you do sometimes on your mobile phone network, you'll go to one stadium and the EE signal is really good, you go to another stadium and the Vodafone signal is really good. So it gives me the chance to chop and change. So, over to my third option, I suppose my fourth option really. Now this is by far my favourite and most preferred option. Some of the bigger venues, so for example Chelsea have this, Wembley definitely has this, some of the other bigger stadiums do as well, Twickenham when I did some rugby there, is to use a hardwired LAN network cable. So you will have cable points around the pitch or the venue where you plug this in, obviously the other end into your laptop, and it just gives you a direct hardwired signal. It's almost always the strongest, most consistent, most reliable signal. The restriction, of course, with this is it relies on you sitting somewhere that is near enough to one of the wire ports. Now, the biggest way I get around this is I have this. So this is a 25-meter LAN network cable which I carry with me to all of my events. I have, for example, at Wembley, I sat about probably 15-20 meters away from the nearest network point, and I just ran my cable all the way down the side and into that point, plugged my laptop into the other end right next to me, and I was away. Loads of people do that. You go to any of the big sports events, you will see 10 guys with 10 cables running down past them to the network points. Some of the bigger venues, you know, Wembley as an example, probably has 100, you know, points around the perimeter of their pitch. So that is my most favourite option. It's the most reliable, and wherever I possibly can, I use this. The downside to this, you go to any smaller venues, some of the smaller Premier League venues, Championship venues, you know, and obviously if you're doing things like school events and stuff like that, which I do all the time as well, there isn't any kind of option to use a hardwired cable. So that's when that is no use at all. Another option I use, which also requires a hardwire connection, is this. Now, a couple of people asked me a little bit about this because this was included into a photo which I put up on Instagram. Again, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you don't know what I'm talking about, so go check it out. You'll still be able to find that photo on Instagram now. This is a unit that you plug into a network point, plug it in, and it gives you your own little Wi-Fi signal from this box. Now, that's really great. One place in particular where this is great is Chelsea, because you sit at Chelsea along the pitch side there, and the network points are a little bit down, but they're also behind you on the other side of the main pathway. Now, where this is great is I can plug this in, I can leave it sitting down literally just underneath the port, and it gives me my own Wi-Fi signal. Works really strong, really consistent. I've used this sitting up to about 20 meters away without any kind of problems. It might work further than that. I haven't really tried it further than that, to be totally honest with you. The only downside with this, of course, is this little box requires a power source. Now, you can get a different version of this that's battery powered, but to make it a bit easier, and also to be frank with you guys, because this one was a little bit cheaper, what I bought was one of these little power pack units. This is just the same power pack unit you would buy to plug your phone in and charge your phone from this. I plug this into the charging port on the little device, and then I have got, you can see the green lights come on. In fact, hopefully the camera shows the green lights come on. I've then given it a power supply. I attach these two together with this little band that I've got right here. I'm not ashamed to say this is an old hairband that I borrowed from the missus. You put that around there. There we go. I plug that into the network point and I leave that sitting there. That gives me more than enough power for a game. In fact, a typical game won't even use half the power on this unit. So that gives me nice charge all the way through a game. It gives me my own little private Wi-Fi hotspot, whilst everyone else who's trying to connect to the main stadium Wi-Fi is struggling with slow signal. Mine's going full throttle. So, there we go, guys. That's all the different connections I use. You can see I've got a load of different options that I always take with me, but that's really, really important because, like I said, it's the worst thing if you're there at a stadium and you don't have a proper Wi-Fi connection. It's something, you know, really, really important to be able to do the job right, and that's why I take so many different options with me. So I hope you found it interesting, guys. Let me know in the comments below, are there any other connection options that you guys use that I've not looked at yet? Especially if it's one that you think is great and I need to be looking at it, then tell me. I'm always looking to learn and change what I do. I hope you guys found this interesting. My next video is going to be coming up a little bit sooner this time, I promise you that. Just a few days in between this one and the next one. And loads more to come as well. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you go check out my other videos and make sure you hit that subscribe button down the bottom as well. Loads of other videos. I'm going to put a link to a couple of my other videos at the end of this one, so if you watch right to the end of this one, there'll be a couple of links which take you to some of the other videos. So last but not least, guys, thank you so much for watching the channel. Recently, more so than ever before, I've had loads of people getting in touch with me via Twitter, via Instagram, Facebook, my website, comments on these videos here, and in fact I've even met a couple of you guys in person now, which is really cool as well. So look, keep on watching, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what kind of things you would like to see, and I will keep on making videos. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you on the next one.